Thing. Dr. Art, we're live.
We're live again.
Yes, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right?
It's already Wednesday. It's like
Wednesday, and here we are, man. Here we are, and here are we have.
There's a bunch of people in here. Yeah,
I see that. Let me scroll up and.
They're all revelating over the thumbnail.
Yes, Doug Burton, Matthew Ward, Mexican Spec. Yes, Dickie Farley, Kerosene Cucumbers, Paul E1U4C. 21. That's I don't know what the hell that is. Chevy Hemi, what's happening? Hello. Yes. Oh, okay. They were chatting back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
So Dr. Art, Dakota is in here. What's happening in Dakota? Paul Shea. Man.
A bunch of people are piling in. Yeah.
Yes.
Mopar K.
So what's Mopar K Don't Play is in here. What's going on, Mopar K? Crashes Roadrunner Garage. Overnight
Guitarist, Dickie Farley. Well, you got all kinds of people.
Yes, the finest people on earth. It's crazy, isn't it amazing how we manage to?
They all filter in,
right? And we end up with mankind's greatest people here.
The greatest DNA of all time is in them.
Total coincidence that they all happen to roll in here. Wheelie King, see? Yep, homeowner repair. So what's new with you, Dr. Art?
Not much. I went and seen the dogs today.
What'd you do to the dog?
I went to see the dogs today at the pound.
Oh, you went to I don't got the heart for that.
I know. I was having one of those days like we talked about earlier. So I'm like, let me go do that, and that'll, So that helped.
Did you post them on your channel?
Yeah, I put up a few. I only put up a few a day because you put them all up, nobody sees all of them. But if you put up a few a day, they all get seen.
So Dr. Art does something. What do you do? Like once a week?
Every maybe twice a month.
A couple times a month. He goes to our local shelter in Paws here in Rutherford County, and he does a tour and introduces you guys to the dogs to hopefully try to get one of them, all of them, many of them adopted. I think that's something we should all do. Everybody on YouTube should do that.
If everybody went and got one, there wouldn't be any more. So
that's the problem. See, every time I went in there, I would end up leaving with one.
There was a couple today where I was like, well, I'm glad I'm not in the best mood. So.
So yeah, if for no other reason, go support Dr. Art's channel for that.
And then put the rear section together on the dragster today, and since we know we're using that part, so that's all buttoned up, and I still researching the discs for the rear calipers because they make them in like 100 different sizes and for go-karts and everything. So I got to make sure I get the right ones and have Jeff go buy them. Then I can get the brakes all done, and then that part will be done while we wait for the other stuff to show up. So.
Yeah, and we've also got the clutches on order now, but we may not have the clutch for at least a month. So now we could still go ahead and assemble a motor. We can still fire it and idle it on nitro. But we can't like put any load to it or do any romping or anything like that till we get a clutch in it. So it's going to be probably mid-December before we can actually, it's not going as quickly as I was hoping.
Oh, it never does, especially when it's like,
hey. You too? Let me get her out of here. Hang on.
All right, put Winnie to the curb and I'll see who's.
You get out. Go to mommy.
Thunderstrucker 666.
Go to mommy. Go.
Joe K. Formula CD Burlock. Rocco Chevy Heavy. Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Joe K. Tony, how to go with the mule after the terrible video? I went there the next morning, fired it up, and it runs really good. So we'll have a video for you guys on that either tomorrow night or Friday morning. for sure.
Mhm.
Where is the clutch coming from? Crower.
The good folks at Crower, which we spent hours on the phone with. So.
Yes, because there are many details. Because none of this is as simple as it's not like you just call up Summit and say, "Hey, send me the clutch for my top fuel dragster." It doesn't work like that. There's no Amazon. I checked Amazon. Nothing.
Nothing there.
Right? I figured, well, Timu's going to have some top fuel clutches, but no, Timu doesn't have them either.
No.
So
that would be something. Hey, we got you a Timu clutch for your 1,800 horsepower dragster. Nice knowing you.
Let's see. Chevy Hemi says it was a terrible, fantastic video. I hate working in front of the camera. I'm so awkward with it. And the thing is, like, I don't like, even when I had the shop in New York, or any of my shops, I'd stop working. Somebody comes in, I stop working. I don't start working again until you leave. I don't work in front of an audience, except when I was doing the fuel thing, because then it's just, you have no choice. There's 20, 30, 50 people standing around watching you work, and you've got the job done. So you're able to tune it out. But yeah, I hate working in front of the camera.
I like telling, say, here's what I'm going to do, and then do it, and then turn it back. Hey, it's done. You don't need to watch me go. Zzz.
Yeah.
Unless I'm welding. People like to watch people weld for some reason. I don't know why.
There's tons of channels out there where people show themselves building things and fabricating. Go watch Bad Chad. He loves that. Bad Chad loves to work in front of the camera. I don't want. I would rather explain things, talk about theories and practices, and specific techniques. All of that's good. But to actually just generically, oh, look at me, I'm going to change this head gasket. It's like, no. Thunderbird 68. Did you ever think New York could get even worse? Yes, absolutely. I mean, Kathy and I have been talking about this like back and forth all day. It's like, I saw this coming. I knew this was coming because there's a trajectory. You know what I'm saying? Like you can extrapolate. You can say, well, this happened, then this happened, this happened. So then it's easy enough to extrapolate down the road and say, well, the ultimate version of this is going to be. And yes, I'm not surprised at all. And
no, everybody's seen it coming.
I'm giddy about
it.
Mo Parquet is saying, I wonder why most don't show themselves work on things on film, but then I began to, and now I get it. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. And
well, you can't swear when you smash your knuckles and you're no one wants to watch you blank screen while you're looking for 20 minutes for the wrench you just put down. So
the hardest part of it for me is thinking of things to say, and that's why I get clumsy because I'm not focusing. You know what I mean? Like when you're focusing on the job, that's one thing, and you get things done, right? But when you're trying to do the job, but you're focusing on, oh wait, I have X amount of thousands of people watching this, and I need to keep them interested. You have to explain what I'm doing. I have to, you know what I mean? And it's like it becomes a whole different thing. And Wheelie King is saying, I've learned a lot watching welding channels, but not just any channel. You have to be able to wade through the BS and know when you stumble on a good one, just like car guy channels. Welding channels are different. Now, I've welded poorly on camera, but that's different because you're showing a technique. You know what I mean? You're focusing in, the camera's on that. There's no voiceover or anything you need to do. It's just
yeah. Mine is not a learn to weld channel at all.
One video that I did, Dr. Art, that I thought would have gone, but it never did, was 3D printing a quarter panel. Because I had.
When did you do that?
With the flux core welder.
Oh, okay.
On slag hammer, I had one of the quarter panel, like the wheel opening was rotted away. So I 3D printed it with the flux core. Just like bead after bead after bead after bead after bead. When I was done, it was actually, and I ground it down. It was perfect. Like you could No, it wasn't the real sheet metal. And yeah, it's like it never went anywhere. Let's see. Felice Concaller. Yeah, Rivian supermarket crash happened across the street from my laundromat yesterday. I haven't checked this evening, but it's still closed earlier today. I didn't hear anything about that, but there was 4 Rivians went up in flames in Franklin a couple of weeks ago. At dealership. One of them was
at the service facility. Yeah.
Yeah. One of them was plugged in, charging, and it lit off, and it torched 3 others. So, and
it doesn't take long at 4,000 degrees.
Mr. Darwin chuckled. Of course, take these home and charge them in your garage.
Yeah, don't worry when your house insurance doesn't pay the claim. Yeah.
Gook X5J. Do you like square body Chevys? Would you ever own one? I am actually quite fond of them. Would I ever own one? No, because they don't really fit my needs. I have, but that doesn't mean there's lots and lots and lots of things I really love that I have no desire to own, and square bodies is one of them. What about you, Dr. Art?
I love square body Chevys. I've made so much money flipping them and fixing them. My favorite. I had bought a black 4x. This is when I still lived in Vegas. I bought a jacked up black 4x4 square body Chevy that was a complete turd, but it looked cool from like 50 feet. And it was out in front of my house for like 11 minutes, and I made like $3,000. It was beautiful.
They're great.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love the square body? And it's like every time I meet somebody out in, like they're like, they'll recognize me like at a gas station or whatever. And I always ask them, so what are you working on? And it's always a square body. Always some form of square body.
Yeah.
Fubar put link to my merch. Thank you, Fubar. Mm-hmm. I didn't see you. I didn't say hi coming in, man. I didn't see you. And your stuff is ordered. Your Christmas merch is ordered, and for the missus. So there's Fubar's link to my merch, hats, shirts. We have a new shirt. We have a new shirt coming. We're going to introduce it either tomorrow or the next day. So
definitely before the weekend, because it's going to get cold, and then it's raining. It's going to get cold. So
yeah. So let's see. Oh, Mark Survey's in the house.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sreev Dugan. Sreev. 74 Challenger 318 and 67 round Apollo 327. Can modern antifreeze be mixed with old school green antifreeze? When you say modern antifreeze, what do you mean?
Yeah, if you mix green with red, you're going to get brown.
The rare occasions that I buy new antifreeze, I go to O'Reilly's close to my house, and I get the universal antifreeze. So I would imagine that since there's a universal antifreeze, that you probably can mix the modern with the old one. Now, I cheap out on antifreeze. Because it's just ridiculous. I don't want to pay $12 a gallon for friggin' antifreeze, especially when you deal with engines that this leaks, and you got to fix that. When you're dealing with hot rods, there's always something. There's always a leak. So I go to Pull Apart, and they sell gallons of antifreeze. It's usually all green or looking green, and I pay $3.08. It's $4 a gallon, with tax.
Instead of 20, yeah.
Instead of 20. So it's like, how do you go wrong? Let's see. Don 3667. What forever car would you recommend from Michigan? Also parts to stockpile for repairs and to profit from. Yeah, Doctor, what do you think?
Well, he's in Michigan, so I'm gonna punk out and say an XJ because most of the bodies on those is galvanized. It's got the kind of the best chance against all the salt and destruction there. Or like in you're in Michigan, it's going to snow, so get yourself a little 4x4 truck, S10 Ranger, something like that. Something where you can get to where you need to go when the weather gets bad.
I would start with something that was rust free. So I would look for something in like the in our neck of the woods, Tennessee, South Carolina. There's like a sweet spot through the middle of the country where we have rust free everything. And then people always bitch about the salt. Oh, the salt's going to kill everything, but only if you let it. Like it's okay. They're going to salt the roads. They salt the roads here too, right? Where they use brine.
Yeah, wash your car.
Wash your car. It's really that simple. People are always bitching about, the rust is everywhere. The salt kills cars. Yeah, only if you don't wash the friggin' thing. Every car wash around here has an undercarriage wash. And generally speaking, that's all you need to get enough of the salt off the bottom of the car.
Make a huge difference. Yeah.
Makes a huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah, get yourself a membership where you get unlimited washes. So all winter, it snows the next day, wash it off. Salt's on the road, next day, wash it off, and you're good.
So Eric's D4X, living up north, should we undercoat film, fluid film, used oil? I would oil it. If the car doesn't already have undercoating on it, I would not put undercoating on it. Undercoating is a problem because it traps moisture between the undercoating. Like any gap that liquid can get in between the undercoating and the metal, it'll get in there and it'll start to rust and it'll exploit that gap. It'll just keep exploiting the gap until it destroys the metal underneath. Undercoating is kind of a scam, and it's always been. But the old timers, like when I was a kid, it was normal. They would have like garden sprayers and they get
drain oil,
right? And get in the car with the garden sprayer and just coat everything under the car with oil. And you do that once or twice a year, and it's generally enough to keep anything from rotting. So I would avoid undercoating. I think of undercoating as a scam.
It's a false sense of security. Wash your car, and you're good.
Henry had a saying: the frame which you can never wash is what takes the abuse from salt. You have to get in there and actually, either with a pressure washer or I mean, I've been doing it my whole life. It's just, to me, it's just second nature. Your vehicle gets all covered with salt. At the end of the season, when you know that they're done, you get underneath there with your pressure washer or your hose, and you get into all the little nooks and crannies, and you spray out as much as you can, and it won't rust. The rust happens when the salt gets covered with dirt. Right? So there's like the salt itself, you just lay the salt over the metal and it'll just wash off over time. But when that salt is covered with dirt, then the dirt turns to mud. The mud makes the salt react with the metal, and then, so it's just a matter of keeping the bottom of the car basically clean. Let's see.
There must be winter coming because all these people are very worried about it.
They are.
This is not a springtime conversation. Yeah.
Fluid film keeps my truck from rotting away. Yeah. Fluid film and similar products: wool wax, PB Blaster, Surface. Yeah, I've used PB Blaster. Rocco wants to know any cheap, easy way to run a 4.6 Ford on a points distributor.
Not that I know of.
Cheap and easy, no.
I wouldn't know why you would want to. Just if you can do that, just put a 302 in it. Put same bolt transmission pattern.
Well, I mean, the 4.6 is a good motor. It's got good cylinders. It's got all good characteristics. I would want, like, no question, I would want a distributor on it, but I don't know how I would go about.
It'd be easy enough to run off one of the cam gears, but I have never seen it done. So
yeah, there's got to be somebody out there with some application You know, like they do with the Chrysler Hemis, with the 5.7s, you know, the Jet, where they have what they call a chip killer, which is a timing cover with a distributor in it, and they give from that. They also sprint cars used to use, I forget which application it was, but they used to use the Gilmer belt drive for a distributor. So you've got a distributor. The one I'm picturing used a Ford, the big Ford cap, and it was mounted like a belt drive fuel pump, let's say, mechanical fuel injection, and just a Gilmer belt to drive it. So I mean, you could probably fabricate something. I mean, and that depends on your fabrication skills, but any competent machinist should be able to fabricate something in a flash for something like that. Let's see. Silver Train had a neighbor park his car over a lawn sprinkler in the spring for a few hours to clean the frame. I mean, that doesn't sound terrible.
Why not? Yeah.
Felice Concolor, an insidious form of corrosion happens in dry climates. Dust and dirt gets blown deep into gaps. Then one of those twice-a-year thunder showers hits the car. The dust becomes a sponge, taking it in. It is always the nooks and crannies. It's always the difficult parts to get to. And clogged drains. Clogged drains will do that. That used to kill. That killed a lot of like 60s Mopars. The drains that they were putting in the rockers would just clog up with dirt, and then rust.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Nathan Berger, 305. I have a 65 Galaxy of the Ford Big Blocks. A 65 Galaxy of the Ford Big Blocks. Which one would you say is the best to run, I assume? Oh, okay, saying of a 65, I'm sorry, bro. I have a 65 Galaxy. Out of the Ford Big Blocks, which one would you say is the best to run? I thought you're from a
460.
460. Yeah.
Yeah. 390s are little. They're I love them, but they're archaic. But a 460 is like a slightly retarded big block Chevy.
Well, people would argue and say it's a better big block Chevy,
but
they're good motors.
They're everywhere. You can't really pick them. They'll make 500 foot-pounds of torque without even trying. Really can't go wrong. You just need, all the big torque and a big Galaxy like that. It would just motor along all day like effortless. 460, 429.
I'm with him. Yeah, absolutely. Mopar K. I finally learned a little patience and started really working on my 73 Duster. My transmission is leak-free. Go you. Mine too. The hasn't leaked anything. So, and I have the right O-ring on the way for my dipstick tube. Carburetor tuning is next. I've done so many videos on carburetor tuning. I've done too many videos on carburetor tuning. What kind of carburetor are you working with? The Hark loved his 460.
Yes.
Intensely.
Intensely.
It was sick, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have to go to the dark web.
You can just see people loving their 460s because the big ports. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Doctor, that's bad. Bad imagery.
Global Farms
Simulator Network.
He loves his old 455 rocket.
Good motors. Just don't rev them too high.
Yeah. Don't run them out of oil, because if you rev them too high, they run out of oil. But they'll just churn along and cruise all day like nothing. Effortless.
Literally watching your videos, learned a lot. It's a 754 barrel Summit Hollings, but those are great carburetors. There's not much to tune on that, I got to tell you. Those are really excellent carburetors.
Yeah, they have outstanding drivability. You'll love that thing. Just clean it up and don't
Yeah,
overthink
unless
it.
you have something funky, like in other words, unless you're dealing with a very big cam, you're dealing with like a very efficient, like an open header exhaust, that sort of thing. Um, there's not much really you're going to have to do. Just do a plug read, do a plug read. Mexican spec. Tony, which car were you driving in the thumbnail? I don't know what the thumbnail picture is.
Just say GTX.
GTX. I was driving the GTX. Was there a GTX on it? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, according to Kathy, that's what you were driving.
I didn't even get a notification. I didn't even get a notification from my own live.
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's see. Fun with cars. What's happening, man? The Charger driver had a mustache. There's a Charger on there. No, I could have been driving.
There's. The thumbnail is two cars. You can see them from the front. There's a guy in the middle, like starting a race. You can't see who it is because their back's to him. And there's a 68 Charger, and then your GTX. And apparently the guy in the Charger has a mustache. If that helps at all.
Okay. Well, I had a mustache too. Loudcad 1802. I got a secondhand high on the Parkway today. Some dude was smoking a fatty at 10 a.m. What's this world coming to? I know.
Maybe he's a third shifter and he's just going home to chill.
I know. Honestly, I don't care if you smoke. It makes no difference to me. But I found myself avoiding okay, so I can't be specific. I can't be specific because I don't know who's watching, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have come to avoid certain local groups, that are like common interests. But I've taken to avoiding them because that's what they do. It's just they blaze one after another, and it's just like I can't relate. It's like I just can't do it. I'm here to screw around with the machine, whatever, non-specific. I'm here to ride the machine, whatever, non-specific, right? What's with all the burning the trees? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Go up to the top, the GT1 Warrior.
GT1 Warrior.
GTI Warrior could be.
GTI Warrior. Would a 67 Fury 3 be too obscure for a daily? Parts availability and all that? No. Okay, so parts availability, like nothing's reproduced for the body of that car. Nothing's reproduced really for the interior of that car. So you're kind of on your own with that. But mechanically, like every bit for the engine, every bit for the transmission, every bit for the differential, every bit for the suspension, every bit of the electronics is all like shared with more popular cars. Well, like 1967, you have a lot of one-year only things on a 1967 Mopar, like wiper motors are 1 year only, wiper motor switches are 1 year only. But you can work around that. So no, a 67 Fury 3 would actually be
and the Fury 3 would be a proper daily because those have like the stacked headlights and stuff like that. It's cool. Yeah. If you don't want it, you can drop it off at my house and I'll take it from you. So
I mean, pull them to the local whatever, fill in the blank, okay? With a brand new Lambo or your 67 Fury, and the 67 Fury is going to get more attention. It's going to get more thumbs up. People are going to, right? You'll enjoy that as a daily. Hammy Head. Would Tony agree the United States seems to be staying with internal combustion engines? The whole world is going to stay with internal combustion engines.
Yeah.
All of that is nonsense.
Is gone.
It's gone.
It was a phase.
Right. They've become irrelevant. This one's right up your alley, Dr. Art. Can you make a video on performance tuning 80s and 90s EFI? Seems like it can add timing, but the ECU will adjust to where it wants, even when unplugging the signal wire while adjusting.
Yeah, the 80s and 90s, the first OBD1 stuff, you got to really trick it to make it do anything, because it's unprogrammable. It has a ROM, which is read-only memory, versus the 96 NUC, which is an EEPROM, electronically erasable, programmable read-only memory. So that's where you can get your adjustability at. The other ones did not have that because those chips did not exist really in bulk before 1996. So there's things you can do, like you can do the exhaust, and you can bump the fuel pressure and things like that, but you really can't do anything computer-wise with them unless you get a custom chip burned, and then nobody does that anymore.
Conrad Francis, what's happening? He wants to tell me, were big brake kits a thing in the 70s? I'm putting together for my Dakota and can't find anything. I gotta be completely honest with you. I've never modified a brake system. I've built cars from, like, I built fuel cars. I built dedicated race cars that had dedicated braking systems. But in 50 years of screwing around with cars, I've never modified a brake system, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, in the 70s and 80s, all you could do is swap for like station wagon brakes or something. There was no kits available, or swaps and things. So if you could flop over a factory part to something better, that's about as good as you got.
Yeah, people used to swap in the like if you had 10-inch brakes, it would swap to 11-inch brakes. If you had some people wanted the discs in the front, so they would swap from the drums to the discs. But it was all like basically using factory parts.
Yeah, the bigger rotors with the fins for cooling and blah, but nothing. Yeah, there wasn't any trick. There was no Willwood kits in the 80s.
Let's see. Fun with Cars has modded. Well, he's matted.
He's matted. You can easily get mad at cars. Yeah.
What is that? What kind of car is that in your avatar there?
It looks like a Fiero swapped Lamborghini body.
Is that what it is?
I think so. Something like that, yeah.
What is this? Robert's Frio, 1164. So why do they say don't spin a motor over backwards? I always do if needed, but curious the reasons. Old wives' tale. I've spun a zillion engines backwards in terms of like setting a lash. Sometimes you don't want to go all the way around. You work on one bank of the engine and you don't want to make a whole revolution, so you'll come back half a revolution. I've spun motors backwards my whole life. I've never even gave it a second thought.
Yeah, time does not roll backwards or anything unsafe. So there's nothing wrong with it.
And actually, come to think of it, when you're trying to get precise with setting timing, okay, your last move, right, is got to be backwards then forward, right, to line everything up, to take all this slack out of the system. So if you're going for a zero, let's just say, you're looking for absolute zero, you come back first, then you go slowly forward to zero, and that makes sure that all of the slack is taken out of like the valve train, the timing chains, all the other stuff.
Oh, Fun with Cars, he replied to it. It says twin turbo Lamborghini Torero Vitiora, built from a Crown Vic from scratch.
Really? I don't know what to make of that.
That's pretty cool.
It's definitely different.
Yeah. It's a good use of a Crown Vic.
Eric's Garage. Is there a particular method to check adjusting vacuum secondaries for Hollies? To check them, well, a lot of people, and I've done it myself, uses a small zip tie. We could use, well, back in the day, used a paper clip. I'm from before zip ties. I go back to before zip ties.
Pre-zip ties.
But either way, because what happens is if you're just sitting there and things in neutral and you're revving the engine and watching for the vacuum secondaries to open, they're not going to open. They have to be a sustained load, right? So what we used to do back in the day and what people do today is use a paper clip on the rod that goes from the diaphragm to the linkage, or you can use a small zip tie and you put it on there. And so this way, if the diaphragm does move, if it does open the secondaries, you'll see that it'll slide the zip tie or the paper clip, whatever you use, down that shaft. So then you can confirm that it's working. And then the only other thing you could do is tune it with springs.
Springs, yeah.
If you there's a Holly spring secondary spring pack. It comes with like one of each of all of the popular colors, and there's like 6 or 7 of them, and I think there's like 6 or 7 springs, and you could just tune by seat of the pants. Let's see. Trike Kid, what do you buy a quality vacuum gauge these days? Harbor Freight ones seem to not work well, really. Vacuum increases when I open the throttle. Shouldn't vacuum drop off? Depends where you're. Oh, okay. So what you're doing is you're checking your. It's not the gauge. It's where you're checking the vacuum from.
You're checking it ported. Yeah,
you're checking from ported vacuum. So what you're doing is you're checking from vacuum above the throttle plates, and so as soon as you open the throttle, it's going to increase, right? You got to check from below the throttle blades for non-ported vacuum, and then it'll work right. It's not your gauge; it's where you're checking the vacuum from.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Holman is here. It's good to have you here, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Let's see. Let me roll back up here. Chevy Hemi says he sucked the hose to see if the secondaries worked.
Hose.
The secondary diaphragm is bolted to the side of the carburetor, and there's a port. There's a hole that's through the body of the carburetor. Where is it?
It's the port. Yeah.
Well, I'm just picturing like how to describe where the port is for that in the primary side. So if you go about a third of the way down the throttle bore on the right side of the carburetor, same as the diaphragm, you'll see a small hole there, and then that hole is a passage that's through the body of the carburetor and then to the vacuum diaphragm. The only time you'll have an external line is when you're running like a dual quad setup with the vacuum secondaries, and some people will put a T between the two.
When you're running 2 or 3 carburetors, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Berserk says, I have to say, I love the Nitro Dragster series. It's the only one on YouTube. Dr. How are you enjoying your exposure to the world of Nitro?
I'm glad it's like a slow burn. Instead of we're going racing today, get in the truck, kid. I'm able to soak it all in instead of fire hose it. So it's interesting and scary at the same time, which is intriguing. Not much scares me at this age, but that does scare me a little bit.
You don't have to drive it.
I know, but I got to be around it. But it's running on with the first fire up's going to be kind of sketch, I think. But
I always tell people the most dangerous, the safest place if you're running a running nitro car, the absolute safest place to be is behind the wheel.
Right, because you get the motor plate and everything shielded. Yeah. It's going to go, that way. Yeah.
Yeah. It all happens in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
72Z20 saying, you sure it will only explode a little bit?
It's more, because knowing you'd be like, we don't need to move it outside. It's fucking fired up in the
Yeah, we can
garage.
fire it
Just
up in
breathe
there.
the nitro. No, I'm gonna be the chicken with the respirator, but just so.
Well, then you can get it outside.
It goes until it hits that little lip.
Yeah, if you want to fire it up outside, that's great, but you're the one that's got to get it out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chevy Hemi. Boom! This one's not going to go boom.
No.
This won't go boom. We're going very easy. I don't want to. We're already spending a lot of Jeff's money, and I don't want to spend too much of it. And I don't want to give him a bad nitro experience. I want him to walk away from this thing saying, yes, that was worth every penny.
Oh yeah, we're trying to be budget conscious, and I don't think he wants to be budget conscious sometimes. And I'm like, yeah.
I try to spend people's money like it's my own. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
Right, just it's not fountain somebody else's money, because then,
Jimmy Luce. Now I'm hooked on watching YouTube videos of old 1960s films about nitro racing. There's more than I thought. There's a lot of them.
And there's a lot to it. That's what I'm figuring out. There's a lot to it, more than you would think. It's like it's a whole different. It's like a UFO, basically. You got to learn everything all over again from scratch.
It's the truth. It's the truth. I forget sometimes how intricate it all is, and oh god, it's not that I forget. I think I blocked it out. You know what I mean? There's now, Doctor, look at what we're doing with this thing, right? So we've got this. It's been sitting in the shop for over a month. Okay, taking little bits out of it. Okay,
right
now and there's no deadline. But now imagine you have to be at the track Wednesday night, and you have to make 2 runs, and then you have to be at another track Friday night, another track 400 miles away, and make 2 runs, and then you've got to be at another track 700 miles away Sunday morning and make 3 runs now, right? And imagine having to do that.
You got to take the whole damn thing apart every time.
Right, and it's like, yeah, no, that's what you block it out. You block it out.
Yeah.
Thunderstuck is saying you can only be excited after driving 2,000 horsepower. Oh, it's not just 2,000 horsepower. The thing about nitro motors is it's the way they come on. Okay, like nitrous is close. But a nitrous motor doesn't explode to the next higher RPM level, right? So, like, in other words, like you spray in a motor, right? You hit the throttle, okay, and the motor will respond. She comes up, right? But a nitro motor will go from 2,000 to 7,000 RPM almost instantaneously. Like there's no buildup to it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and that's the way it hits, right? Like, you could drive any freaking thing you want on gasoline or alcohol or nitrous oxide, right? But none of it comes up and attacks the way nitro does. And that's what makes the clutch so important, because a clutch has to absorb all of that insanity instantaneously, right? And that's what makes nitro different than everything else. It's not the horsepower level, it's the way that horsepower is generated, and it's just violent. And that's the hook. That's what gets you hooked on it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, are these guys with these all-out pro mods getting close to it when they're running 330s in the 8th?
They're getting more than that. they're making huge power. It's the way the power comes on.
Mm.
Does that make any sense?
I mean, but that power's got to come on bananas in those things. I don't know if it's. See, that's why I'm asking. Not judging. I'm just asking.
Okay, 3,000 horsepower on a blown alcohol combination is easier to manage than 2,000 horsepower in a nitro combination.
Okay.
Okay, and like I said, that's where the clutch becomes such a crucial thing, and the tuning of the clutch. Because everything, it's all about managing that power. There's so many different aspects to it. There's just so many different angles to it. Until you actually stick your foot in one, you can't really appreciate it. Until you romp the throttle, you can't appreciate it. You'll do that. We'll get this thing running, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll have you romp the thing a couple of times, and then you'll understand. Then you'll get it. Then you'll get it. Spitfire Mike, is the fellow with the dragster that you're working on going to go back after the sellers for not so ready for racing claim? He's not going to. He's just gritting his teeth and just absorbing it. It's just not working for him.
Right, and here's the thing you have to understand. That car came from an old car guy's collection where he did not put it together. He's repping it as he bought it. So.
Okay, but I got to throw something in here now, right? The car came from an old guy's collection.
Yeah,
that's true. But the car was assembled just the way we got it by a contemporary nitro operation.
There's the ones that need the ass whipping. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the guy.
Not the guy who got it from, and really, I guess not the auction house, because they both represented it as it was represented to them. But I saw the construction pictures, and I saw the people, and I saw their shop, and I know who they are, right? And they should be ashamed of themselves. And that's as far as I'm gonna say about that.
Send him an email. Hey, you got all the parts for this thing?
Ridiculous. For Formula CD, the current top fuel is 12,000. I know. Shannon Monty, is the Nitro Car Arts building considered an antique compared to the same ones now? Yes. Just curious how much has changed with Nitro cars over the years. It's not how much Nitro cars have changed, it's how much tracks have changed, how much tires have changed, how much clutches have changed, and how much more is known about how Nitro works today than was when those cars were, like the car we're dealing with now. There was there's like a BCAD thing, right? You know, only it would be like before Dale Armstrong and after Dale Armstrong. So before that, people did not really understand how Nitro made power, and they tuned Nitro engines, or they conceptualized Nitro engines, making power in the same way that gasoline, alcohol, other engines do, and they worked it off the top, okay, the top of the stroke, like every other engine. After the 1980s, after 1985, 86, 87, there was like a revolution in knowledge, how these things work. And like, for instance, up to that point, wings were used to hold the back of the car on a dragster now, right? Wings were used to hold the back of the car down. But after this knowledge revolution, wings were used to hold the car back. And then the front wing, instead of just holding the front of the car down, was now used to pass air over the top of the car and land it on top of the back wing. There's this now. I know I'm getting away from it. What I'm trying to say is there's a difference. The knowledge of how Nitro works is different, and because of that, all the technology has changed. So a contemporary nostalgia top fuel car has a different engine placement. It has a different chassis arrangement. It has different clutch, different fuel system than what we're working with here. What we're working with is very antiquated. Now, if the bug bites and he actually does want to go, we can either modify that car or just switch the operation over to a more conventional type of car, and he'll be able to run with the cars that are out there today, the nostalgia top fuel cars that are out there today. But I don't know, did I even answer that question?
Yeah, and it's basically they found out the more you load the engines down, the more they put out.
Right, right.
So that's big wings and these and canards and.
Well, that's like the Garlits, and I never got into this with him, right? Because he's very set in his ways and his ways of thinking. It was like the Garlits Jocko liner, okay, which is the perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? So in '74, Garlits contracted Jocko to build him a streamliner body like the streamliner body that he was using, that Jocko was running on the salt flats and on the dry lakes. So this thing was swoopy as hell, okay? It was just slick. It was beautiful. And Garlits introduced it as the Dragster Tomorrow. It was on the cover of Hot Rod. Big thing over it. Dr. Art, can you find a picture of that? Garlits streamliner?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, can you show it on here?
We could try.
All right. I was thinking on the phone, but well, anyway, while he's doing that, so this thing was slick, and he builds a short wheelbase rear engine dragster to stick on this, like 150 inches, 140 or 150 inches. So they go out and they run this thing, okay, and it won't run like it's not like you could drop it out of a tree and it wouldn't run. It just it was like and because the thinking of the day was to make it as slick as possible, not taking into account that nitro is load sensitive. So they put this thing on the car, they cut out all of the wind resistance, and it slowed the car down because now the engine wasn't burning the nitro that it was supposed to. They took the body off and the car went faster. So they accounted that it was because the body weighed X amount of pounds, and this is why. But that body was no heavier than a contemporary funny car body at the time. So there was an example of pre-Armstrong volume thinking, right, where they got it wrong. And Garlits to this day will insist that it was because, the body was too heavy. It's not, no, funny cars were going that fast, if not faster than that damn car, and funny cars were pushing a lot of wind, because funny cars were more efficient at burning the fuel. Less efficient pushing air makes it more efficient to burn the fuel, and so they go fast.
Was that the Don Garlits wind liner?
Yeah, the wind liner.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if it'll let me. I don't think I could share from my end because I'm not in control here. No. But I could put up a link to it.
Okay, I'll put up a link to it.
Copy and paste.
Fun with cars, Tony, don't forget nitro cars spun the tires down the track. Up until early 67. Early 67, mid 67 into 68, they started sliding the clutches. And that's when you had all those freaking clutch disasters. And a lot of people got killed and maimed during that period of time. Because they were still using dual disc clutches. And they were just letting the thing slide instead of the tire. So they cut the tire. They were still spinning the tires in 67 and in 68 and into 69. They weren't completely locked down to the track, but they cut the amount of wheel spin by probably 75 or 80%. So they weren't throwing the rooster tails like they did in 64, 5, 6. And then the centrifugal clutch, the true centrifugal clutch, the Crower Glide came about late 1969 into early 1970. And all of the clutches that they're using today are just evolutions of that Crower Glide unit.
Yeah, it won't let me paste it because it's a link and I'm not a mod. So
okay, all right. Oh,
but yeah, look up Don Garlits Wins WYNNS-liner. Yeah, body by Jocko. Yep. It'd be cool if it was like a land speed gas engine, it'd be perfect. But as a nitro,
on alcohol, and now you see that's the thing. If they had taken that car just the way it was and run it on alcohol, or maybe like a 10 or 20% nitro, just as
they
an
killed
exciter,
everybody. Yeah.
yeah, it would have run. But they were trying to run it as a top fueler, and it just wasn't pushing enough air to be efficient. It's just like nitro operates so backwards from everything else. You want to build bottom end power on a gasoline engine or an alcohol engine, you advance the camshaft. You want to build power on a nitro motor, you retard the camshaft. It's like there are so many things that are backwards from conventional thought. Let's see. I'm just rolling back here.
Oh, okay.
Fleece can collar. I remember reading the exhaust pipes are angled the way they are in order to provide downforce at start and allow the tires to spin up to proper donut shape. The tire, the angle of the headers has nothing to do with the shape of the tire. Funny cars and dragsters both have them at different angles. But yes, there is downforce there for sure. I couldn't tell you how much. I'm sure somebody's measured it. But even on the weak cars that we were running, weak compared to what you have today, because we were in the 3,000 and 4,000 horsepower range, and back then that was like, oh, I was hitting it, right? There was a significant amount of downforce generated by the exhaust even back then. But downforce in a nitro application is only half the thing. It's wind resistance, right? Like I said, those wings are designed to hold the car back, and by holding it back, it allows it to burn all that nitro, and the motor fights its way through. And the harder they hold it back, there's another example. Okay, weight. They kept adding weight to fuel cars. They kept raising the minimum weight, and we were trying to slow them down when we were getting up to close to 300 miles an hour. They were trying to slow them down, so the minimum weight was like 1,750 pounds, and the cars were like getting up into the 280, almost 290 miles an hour range, and they added 100 pounds, and the cars went even faster. And they added 100 pounds, and the cars went even faster because they were burning the fuel. You're giving it to burn the fuel. It's like the exact opposite of everything else. Gears. So there's another example, right? So we were running. So pre revolution, pre 1980s, 410s, 390s were common gears. Once the volume revolution happened in the middle to late 80s, then they went down to 350s, 340s, 320s. One guy who I'll never mention his name because he's a freaking child molester. I actually was running 290s and was running significantly faster mile an hour than everybody else at the time. And so then they put a limit. They made sure they put a limit at 320. But the cars today would probably go even faster if they were running like 370 or 270 or like 260, 250 gears. So it's like a nitro motor wants a highway gear. Load it down, make it heavy, make a lot of wind resistance,
make it work. Yeah,
make it work, and yes. Don't get me started on nitro cars. I don't know how to stop. Eric Wilson has a great idea. Oh my God.
Thumbs up.
You see such a brilliant suggestion?
It's amazing. Let me see how we're doing here. Just let me hang on a second.
Hello, Sully 311.
Hello, Sully. There's 183 people watching, and
probably 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. 101. Now it's 102. 2 because I had to do it myself.
Hemi Head is asking, do we have a copy of the ever use a Hollander interchange manual? Those are great books. That was the Hollander interchange manual was the Junkyard Bible back when I was a kid. But it's kind of irrelevant these days. Okay, here, Rope 1958. So why not just design a brick of a body? Because downforce is also important. If you hold it back, it'll find the weak link, and the weak link is going to be the traction. It's going to be so you need a combination of drag and downforce, and that's why you can't just make a brick. It has to actually manage the air both ways. Hold the car back, provide the load, and hold the car down, also providing load. Plus, you're adding weight to the car. The wing is like 3,000, 5,000 pounds, whatever the hell it is, worth of downforce. That's actually adding weight to the car.
Yeah, that motor thing. Hey, I'm 3,000 pounds heavier now. I got to work harder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chevy Hemi wants to know what's a government. It's a good question.
Yeah. A government is a corporation disguised as a helpful entity.
Well, that sounds so fascist, Dr. Hart.
Well,
I use that word, and now this video goes nowhere.
yeah.
The algorithm, the AI reads through the manuscript and comes across a word like that and says, "No,
Yeah.
you will not be distributed."
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't see any. Oh no, not the F word. I'm just rolling back. I'm talking about bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Fun with Cars forgot to click the like, but he did. Thank you, Fun with Cars. Sean the person. Hey, is it okay to install a ball joint when the inside of a spindle was powder coated? Oh, Sean, I have no idea what you mean by that. Can you
rephrase that, sir?
Yeah, please rephrase that, and we will.
Because you need a ball joint.
Yes. Shannon had a question. According to
Shannon.
Where's Shannon? I'm looking for Shannon. I don't see Shannon. Oh, geez. I wonder if I have this thing set on.
I don't think you can StreamYard set it to different settings. I think you see everything.
Okay. Well, because I don't see any Shannon there.
No.
Wow, there's an option to show the comments on the stage. Oh, let's try that. Oh wow!
Wow! Look at that.
Nice. Okay. And we're looking for Sean the person.
Shannon said it was already answered. Okay.
Okay.
See, that's how good we are. We already answered it. Didn't even know it.
The surface where the ball joint presses into. Oh, okay. In other words, like, you had the spindle powder coated. Now you're going to press the ball joint. Oh, yeah. No. Grind off the powder coating.
Yeah, it's going to be too thick. You're gonna bust something pressing it in.
Yeah, it'll be, even if you don't bust it immediately, it'll bust just during the course of going about its business, heating and cooling and all that other stuff. Eric, D4X, what do you think of Diplomat's Fifth Avenues? They're cool.
For an 80s car, they were wonderful. Yeah.
Yes. They make a great, like if you want just a cool daily driver, man, they're perfect. Let's see. Chuck Elliott, did Big Daddy ever work with a small block Mopar? I mean, not that I'm aware of.
Mm.
At the time, so he was around during the Max Wedge days as far as like door slammers go. They ran, his brother Ed ran door slammers, stock and super stock cars. But during a period like where the small block Mopar was a thing, so let's say from like 1968 to like 1975 or so, I can't think of any Garlett's involvement in any type of racing that would include a small block Mopar. So I would doubt it. I would seriously doubt it.
Did you see Mr. Daniel Solis is here?
Is he really?
Yes, he just popped in.
Hello, Mr. Daniel Solis, and happy Wednesday.
And it might be because next Wednesday I actually cannot be here. So it may be a good day for it.
You can't be here next Wednesday?
Yeah, I got a work thing at night, so.
And Elaine is in the house too. Dan, how about it? Can you come on next Wednesday night? You want to do the tech live with me? And Zero's in the house.
There we go.
He's not able to mod tonight. Dude, you're modding all the time. It's just emanating from you. Don't worry about it. All right, so Dan, he gave me the thumbs up.
Yeah, you got the thumb.
Oh, is that a wrench? What the hell is that?
That's a wave.
Dan, what the hell kind of emoji is that?
It's like a little hey.
Hey! All right.
Yeah, he's in. He's got his hand up. He's in. So.
All right, so great. So next Wednesday night we're gonna have tech with Mr. Dan Solis. And at that point, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and let him talk.
And just let him go. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. All right, Sean the person. Now let's say someone hypothetically, let's say
a friend, assemble
their whole front end with the powder coat. Who would do such a silly thing? Should I retighten as the powder coat breaks down?
Depends with bushings and everything. You know, there's a lot of variables in that question.
I would okay. There's nothing you're gonna do now. You've got it assembled. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But my concern would be that if it's a press-in ball joint, not a screw-in ball joint, but a press-in ball joint, I would be concerned because that's an interference fit, right? You're talking many zeros before a digit pops up, right? The decimal point and many zeros for clearance. So now when you add the thickness of the powder coat to that, you're really stressing the thing that's holding it in. So I would say it was a bad idea to do it, but since you've done it, and just run it, and don't lose much sleep over it. But next time, take the powder coating off. Elaine is actually in charge of everything.
Well, that's good. That takes all the pressure off. Yeah, it takes all the pressure off everybody. Let her deal with all of it. That's great. Appreciate that.
Of course, Danny wears the pants, Elaine, when he's finished with the laundry. Let's see. Have you ever had car parts powder coated? I have not. Not that I have anything against it. I've just never. What about you, Dr. Art?
I'd like to say that I have, but I couldn't tell you. And it was probably like miscellaneous parts like brackets and valve covers and things like that. You know, and it never. like, you know, intakes or whole blocks or anything like that. But I'd have to say I probably did spend foolish money at one time and had powder coated valve covers on some kind of something.
I mean, I'm sure I've had powder coated parts. I just never actually went and had them powder coated myself.
Yeah.
Trike Kid, are there any disadvantages to using Gliptol? Why isn't that used from the factory? Because it's a step that's unnecessary from the factory. Although I do believe certain early engines were like that. That were finished from the factory with Gliptol, and those would be from the days before antifreeze, because they used to use just straight water up until, like, I'm going to say like the middle 1920s or so. Remember, there was a period of time when cars didn't even have water pumps. They have the radiator, and they would have just the water in there, and it was just the boiling of the water would like have it percolate through the radiator. And I believe during that period of time that some of the manufacturers did use Gliptol on the inside of their blocks just to keep them from rusting, because the head gaskets in those days, asbestos head gaskets, it was very, very common to pull the head gasket off, and like it was a normal thing to decarbon an engine and whatnot, but they didn't seal as well as like today's gaskets do. So if I'm not mistaken, and maybe Dan would know this, early production engines, some of them were painted with Gliptol. Any other downside to it? No, unless in my mind, if it's a car that you're going to use every day, I wouldn't do it. Only because just over the course of time, you get any section of it that isn't really like stuck to the metal, right? Because there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done before you Gliptol the inside of an engine. And I use Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer. I find that works really well, and I put it on in thin coats, so I don't have to worry about it peeling off. Gliptol is thicker. And for you guys who don't know, Gliptol is an electric motor paint that some race cars will, or race engines, cast iron race engines, will paint the inside of them. So I wouldn't use Gliptol on an engine that's used every day, because if you have an area where it's not stuck really good, it will eventually work its way free and then potentially clog the pickup or get caught in the oil filter bypass. But yeah, that's it. Oil probably has a higher boiling point than water, yes. But I've seen engines from the early 50s still not using oil pumps. I know, the stove bolts didn't have oil pumps. Oil by splash. And he's saying, I thought Gliptol helped seal the block, contaminating your oil and better drain back. It's for drain back and for also easy cleanup. So the main reason why I've done it on race engines is because if you do have something of a part inside the engine, let's say, you wipe out a cam, or it spins bearing, and it coats the whole inside of the engine with metal. It's a very quick, easy cleanup. You don't have to pull the block out and start scrubbing and do all kinds of other shit. You can generally clean it all out very easily if it's painted with just painted period. And then the drain back, it does speed up drain back.
Did you see Josh Homan's right up on top there? Well, it just went up. So
how on earth did oil circulate if no pump? These were flathead engines.
Yeah. Did you ever push a lawnmower?
Yeah, lawnmowers don't have an oil pump.
Yeah.
They didn't have rocker arms and all sorts of other stuff. There was sufficient splash in the crankcase to keep the lifter, the cam, and the lifters and everything else lubricated. It was the oil pump became mandatory when everybody went to overhead valves. Dan is saying yes, yes, yes. Yes. And look,
Yes.
thumbs up. Yes. I don't know what he's yesing about. What's he yesing about?
He's very excited.
He's just always excited. You paint the intake valley and walls of the block with primer. Probably works just well. Rusty metal primer. Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer. I've been using it forever. When I was younger, glyptol was easily acquired. Like you just went into the hardware store and buy some glyptol, and then it disappeared. And I was like, well, let's see if we can find something else. And I tried the Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer, and I found that it gave really good results. And it sticks. It doesn't go anywhere. But block prep is so important. And before you try, like, don't even think about it unless you've scrubbed the block with thinners, and then heat it with a torch, get any oils out of there, and then let that thing just sit, and like dry, and then you can, spotless and dry. Unless you can lick the valley of the engine. Okay?
Don't paint it. Yeah.
Hesitation. Do not think about painting it. Thunderstruck wants to know what our opinions are on E15 fuel. I have no opinions. Dr. Art, what is your opinion on E15?
I have done. Don't know anything about it.
Nobody has an opinion on E15 here.
Yeah, let the Canadians worry about it.
Yeah. 318 Dart. Tony, give us a little story. How about almost going to jail? Almost? Almost? You should see my, please. I went for a printout once, and it just kept going and going and going. Yes. Never been to prison. I've never been to prison. God, I've been to jail.
Been to jail a bunch, yeah. And it did no good.
No, I'm still the juvenile delinquent that I was when I was in my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Berger, what are your thoughts on running a geared under overdrive versus a 5 or 6-speed manual stop, just powering a highway RPM in first gear, tire smoking? Funny you bring that up, because I'm going to try to coerce Dr. Art into taking the Belvedere on one of these Dragon drives. And his silence from Dr. Art, yeah. So I'm going to try to coerce him into doing that. But before I can do that, I need some kind of overdrive in that car. So I've been thinking about doing a hybrid using factory parts. Using this because there were no big block overdrive trans. You had lockup in 78, 79, but there were no big blocks. So I was going to take a small block overdrive trans and swap it all into a big block case. Me personally, I would never go for a gear renders. Not that I have anything against gear renders. I'm sure they're fine. But to me, like, they're ludicrously expensive compared to putting together. Every combination has a factory overdrive transmission that could be swapped in. So, every General Motors, every Chrysler, every Ford has a factory available, dirt cheap, junkyard available overdrive trans. So I could never see justifying they're very proud. Gear Renders is very proud of their stuff. Plus, it adds complication to the car.
And it's heavy.
And it's heavy, right? So no, if you were to give me a Gear Render, if Gear Renders was to say, Tony, we're sending you a unit tomorrow morning, I would say, send it someplace else because I will use a factory setup. It's that simple. And when something goes wrong with it, I can go to my local transmission parts supplier and get parts for it. I can't do that with gear runners. So yes, that's my opinion. Dr. Art, how do you feel about that?
About the same. It's so much easier to swap in, coming from just from Fordland an AOD with a little, pressure cable or a T5 into something than hanging a 300-pound weight off the end of your transmission and then having to change drive shafts and this and that and more mounts and la 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 la. And now you got, now you're a farmer because you got implement cables that kick everything in, and it's silly. Just put in a 5-speed. Or build a car for a purpose. Because if you're gonna daily drive it, you don't need the big gears. And if you're gonna have the big gears, it's a race car. You don't need overdrive.
Dan is saying the kids love ethanol. Men run real gas. I'm only interested in pump gas. Honestly, I'm the way I look at it is, if you leave the pump, once you leave the regular, normal, everyday gas station pump, you may as well just put nitro in the damn thing. I have never ever operated in that middle ground. That middle ground makes no sense to me, right? I know it makes sense to most people, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, if I want gasoline, I want simple, reliable power, cheap, easy, simple, reliable power. You get that from the freaking gas pump. Done, okay? And if you want power and you don't care about anything else, you run nitromethane. And that's why in my life, all I've ever done, I've run pump gas and I've run nitromethane. And that whole middle ground, it's like, why? I don't get it. Why bother?
Yeah, I don't. And most of the people, from what I've seen in my experience, and I'll caveat with that, they build these, they put their streetcar in ethanol, and all they're doing is just burning more fuel. You could have tuned it just as close on 93 without a problem.
Yes. It's like
have I put 100 octane in some of my cars because it smells good? Yes. So that but you don't build the car to that, especially here because we don't have it everywhere here.
Right. It's like I don't like we have a couple of gas stations here now that are carrying non-ethanol gas, but I won't use it because I can't get it everywhere. If I, you know what I mean, like, and that's the way I see it. It's like if I set this thing up to run on, let's say, on non-ethanol, not that it really makes a difference, right? But if I set it up to run non-ethanol, then that means that when I need to get gas, I have to go hunt around and hope that I can find it. And
right.
I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I want to just pull up to the local whatever it is gas station, press the button, put it in the tank, and I mean, that's all I want to do.
Fill up the fuel cell, go to the track, come back. Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah. If it sits all winter, you just pump it out and you use it in whatever else, so you don't have to worry about mixing it. And yeah.
Yeah. The closer I get to the end of my life, the less complication I want.
Right.
And funky fuels are complication. Robert Trio, E85 works better with boost. You don't really need an intercooler. But your intercooler is with you all the time, no matter where you go.
There it is, in front of the engine. Yeah.
Let's see. Trey Kid, every station I've seen in Wisconsin has 91 to 93 octane non-ethanol gas for people with ATVs and motorcycles. We've only got, who has it around here?
There's like a handful, and it's more expensive.
Yes.
So and you don't really know what you're getting. Oh, it's ethanol free, and you're gonna test it? No. You're gonna just trust the little button to spend more money.
I guess it's a regional thing, just depending on where you are. you know,
Yeah.
which is another reason is it's a regional thing. I don't want to deal with stuff that I can't get when I'm not home.
Right. And if I lived up north, which I used to, I would want a little ethanol in my gas so it didn't freeze.
Let's see. Let's see. You're talking about the gas.
Yeah.
Shell. Green New Deal. Tricare is saying it's at least $1 more. Some pumps have one hose. I've gotten water in my fuel during winter on my bike, bad batch, ice in my carbo. It happens. It happens.
Yeah. I had a buddy that had a boat, and he wouldn't run anything but the ethanol-free gas. And I'm like, well, because it sits. And I said, well, then you're not using your boat enough.
Charles Chastain. Okay, how about it? Run 4-cylinder Hemis in nitro classes, slows them down and cheaper to run. Still 300 miles an hour. I don't know. I never really gave that much thought. Yeah, there are. I mean, have you ever seen Top Fuel motorcycle? 4 bangers, blown on nitro. I mean, that's a serious show, bro. That's a serious show. But 300 miles an hour, that engine that would be a seriously big 4-banger.
Yeah. I have no desire to go 300 miles an hour on the ground. In the air is fine because you got to get somewhere. But 300 miles an hour on the ground, I don't care if it's at a track. It's going to hurt one day, really bad.
I don't disagree. I like to watch other people go fast. I myself am not.
Oh yeah,
I'm not a big speed guy. I'm like I could take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, and it's rare, but every once in a while I get like that, the need for speed. You know what I mean? But it's so rare and it's fleeting, and I'm okay with it. I like the dirty end of things. I'm into the nuts and the bolts.
Mm-hmm.
You divorce yourself from if you focus on the going fast part, I just want to go fast, that you lose sight of the importance of the attention to detail, the nuts and the bolts, and the science of it all. The thing I get out of cars is seriously the most satisfying stuff in the world is when I'm pondering it, I'm up against a problem or a situation, I'm trying to figure something out, and you lay in at night ready to fall asleep, and you're running through all of that, and then suddenly it all clicks, and you're like, oh, I know what to do. That to me, that's all the satisfaction. Like I never have to actually go to a track. I never have to actually step on the gas or anything. I get my satisfaction from solving problems.
Right. Like you said, you wake up and you go, oh,
that's the best. That's the best one, Dr. Art. When you go to sleep and you're pondering, and then you wake up and you realize
your brain's worked it all out. Yeah.
Through the whole thing, right? All of the sequences, and you wake up with the answer. That's magic. That's magic. That's the highest sense of enjoyment and satisfaction you can get out of any of this stuff.
My wife does it sometimes. She goes, "Don't worry about it. Just you'll have it figured out in the morning."
Yeah. Sleep on it.
Mm-hmm.
That cat 83. I ET better on 32 inches than 33.5 inches. Okay. And mile an hour was quicker. Faster. You mean faster? Okay. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. You're cutting down the gear ratio on the 32 versus the 33.5. So
right.
That's like going from a 390 to a 410. Let's just say. So yeah, you would imagine it would ET better. But how much more mile an hour did you pick up? Let's see. That's a good one. Dan wants to know. Here's a good question. What's everybody's favorite spark plug and why? I was an Autolite guy. I was a confirmed Autolite guy for years, and then I got a bunch of bad Autolites.
When they went bad, and then it's been NGK ever since.
Yeah, NGK.
I with NGKs in everything.
Yeah.
Don't care if it's a lawnmower or a go-kart or a Ford Chevy. It doesn't matter. NGK's in it, and it runs beautiful.
We got another Chris Free message.
And it could be my imagination, but that's my perceived reality.
Jimmy Champion. Champion, it's been such a long time since Champion built a good plug. You know why I stopped using Champions? When I realized that once they get wet, they don't come back around. Right? So in other words, like let's just say you flood for whatever reason or another, okay, you end up flooding an engine. Champion plugs won't clean up.
Yeah, they're very cold. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, they stay dead. It's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where an NGK and an Autolite will come back around. Chevy Hemi has Champions from 1984. We have Champions who pulled out of that top fueler. I don't even have a number on them. Just a Champion.
Just Champion.
No number on them.
Nostalgic, ready to run spark plugs. Champion. From Temu.
Champions, you have to clean them with fire. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way. You got to take it out, hit it with you get the MAP gas torch, and you just keep heating the ceramic until it goes poof, poof, poof. You usually get like 3 or 4 boofs out of it, and then it's like, okay, well, yeah.
It's clean. It's good to go. That's what, yeah. When everyone's like, oh, I need to change these plugs, and I'm like, well, why? Because they're all dirt. Well, clean them, sand them down, or blast them, or hit them with the torch. Something. Just clean them. Put them back in. They didn't stop working.
Snap, crackle, and boom, Champions. Lawrence Gatons, I've once saw. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. War Ghost. How do you feel about the Mopar 400? It seems to be a 383, but better in every way except piston availability. Might be worth doing a video on the 400. I think I already have, man. The 400 has the biggest bore of all the Mopars. 4.340, where the 440 is 4.320. So it's like the ultimate 383. So the pistons are really freaking heavy in those things. So they're not super happy with a lot of RPM, but then neither are the cylinder heads that are on them. So the 400 is an excellent engine. What's nice about the 400, it seems that they function well with low compression. You'll make more power with a low compression 400 than. Dan, have you come across that? I don't know how much you've screwed around with big block Mopars, but it seems like it seems like an 8.5 to 1 400 is about as potent as a 10 to 1 383. Let's see.
Go to that Buddy Carafino, third from the top there.
Betty Corfano?
Yeah.
Are those multi-prong plugs any better or just a gimmick? Just a gimmick.
Just a gimmick, unless there's an exception to that.
Is there
There
an
was
exception?
some early '90 Toyota Corollas from the factory. They had a dual electrode plug,
I
and they
remember
won't run with anything else.
Are you sure about that? I remember those plugs, but why?
I don't know why. I'm not a Japanese engineer, but it was they just didn't like anything else. I don't know if it was the lack of resistance with two electrodes or whatever, but those were the only ones. But off the shelf, the guy at O'Reilly's trying to sell you a split fire or quadra-fire Bosch or something. That's all nonsense.
Yeah, the V power for oil.
Yeah.
So think about it this way, buddy. Not talking about an MSD or anything, right? Just a conventional ignition. It's throwing one spark per cycle. That spark is only going to go to one of the many ground straps that they put on those things. So let's just say it jumps around from ground strap to ground strap. But the cycle that the engine is on is only going to see one of those spark jumps. So
you're just shrouding the spark. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're hiding the spark.
You're playing hide the spark from the combustion chamber. So that's, it's kind of the opposite effect.
Let's see. The NGK groove. I've never actually seen any example of that being of any value. I mean, honestly,
that's just how they're machined, and they made it a gimmick. So there you go. That's the story with the V groove. Just all NGKs are V grooves because that's the way they machine that particular part of the electrode.
Ducat 83, flame propagation is the key in this process. Yes, and the flame propagation is going to come from one spark hitting one ground strap. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderstruck is saying that those old Tercels burned oil so the dual ground plug kept the cylinders firing.
Could be. Those old Tercels, you used to actually have to take a walnut, like a sandblaster with walnut shells to clean out the intake valves because they got so carboned up. That was a normal part of maintenance at like 30 and 60,000 miles.
Those are the last regular cars that didn't have any sort of overdrive.
Yeah, they were just
It's regular 3-speed auto.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What's new fancy things gimmick? Have you ever gone full madman and indexed your plugs? I have tried it. Yes. And the only my situation now, your results may vary depending on the type of engine that you're running, right? My particular situation, the only time I ever found a difference in indexing plugs was on the worst possible application to index plugs, which was a 426 Hemi, because the plug is all the way down a spark plug tube. So what I had to do is I had a wrench, a tube with a T-handle on it. And I had to index that, put an index mark on that, and then match the index mark up on the spark plug, and then watch how I installed it that way. Yes, I did find that there was a difference because the 426 Hemi wants to wet the plugs. So it's got plugs in a very high position, right between the valves, and during the overlap period, anytime you get a big cam in there, during the overlap, that wet mixture is just washing right over the plug. So if you index it so that the ground strap is facing the intake side, keeps the plug drier. But yes, I have messed around with that. Have you indexed plugs?
No, but I've seen people do it, and I understand the kind of the pseudo logic behind it. and I know that some real high performance newer like snowmobiles and things like that, that's part of the procedure is to indent the plugs on the tune-up. But I personally have never been that nuts.
And you're a better man for it.
Yeah.
Eric Wilson. I read in Mopar Action once. I started that magazine, just saying. That Mopar Performance considered a 2.0 rod ratio to be the best all-around performance rod ratio. No. Different applications want different rod ratio. Let's get Daniel in here.
And he's the resident engine
builder.
Expert. Yes.
I say no. There is no such thing as a universally desirable rod ratio, and 2.0 in my mind is way long. That's a good high RPM rod ratio, but I don't think you're gonna find the torque that you're looking for in the kind of engines that we build that way. Dan, what say you about the 2.0 rod ratio?
If he's still around.
Well, Elaine is here.
Hi, Elaine. She's still here.
You think it was Richard Ehrenberg that said that? Okay. So Dan is saying, in my opinion, you can't have tool on a rod. Okay, but in what kind of application? So let's just say you're talking about a grunt engine, right? Something that's, and there's a rod ratio now, okay? So forget about actual length, but ratio, right? Let's say you're building for grunt. You need maximum hit at 3,000 RPM, right? From 3 to 6,000 RPM. You don't think that you could have too long a connecting rod that won't put enough leverage on the crank arm as it's spinning? Because I shoot for as short a rod ratio as possible on a grunt engine. The 72Z20 says too many jokes getting missed. I must have missed.
Yeah, I think they're talking about too many jokes about your rod length. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum. Okay. Rods. So Dan is saying RPM short rod. All right, wait. We're gonna have a whole discussion about this. Save this because I think
you can spend all next Wednesday debating this.
Spend a whole 2 hours talking about rod length.
Yeah.
Chevy Hemi rods. 72Z28 is popping out. Oh my God, Dr. Art, look what time it is.
Wow. We got 15 minutes yet.
Yes. Mexican Spec is saying, do you plan on doing any mod lives over the holidays? Just so I have to add it to my calendar. I did. I haven't even really thought about it. I don't know. They're still going here.
Yeah, there's.
You see that, right?
Yes. They've taken over. They couldn't help themselves. It's Rod Length Wednesday.
It's fourth grade night. Hump day. Oh God. All right, I'm gonna scroll back and find something. So I'm gonna find where the adults are hanging out.
You gotta go back about 20 minutes. Yeah.
I gotta go back a few hours. Well, you really gotta go way back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what's new.
Spitfire Mike wants to know, how about a live with Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage?
Yes. So my phone got nuked. Okay. So I've lost everybody's number, and I wouldn't have had yours today unless you and Jeff texted me. So I've got yours now. Okay. But I've lost everybody else's number. So if you had my number, right, throw me a text so that I've got your number again. And if you come across Jamie, because I have no way to contact Jamie now, tell him to throw me a text so I've got his number.
I'll send you Jamie's number.
Okay. All right. Oh, you've got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan. Rod Length Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And Fubar just put up a link to our merch. So
nice.
Thank you, Fubar. And we've got the hats, the shirts, and a new shirt coming like in the next couple of days. And so
for the holidays.
Yes, for the holidays, exactly. And it's actually quite fitting for the holidays. You guys,
yeah,
you guys are going to buy a bunch of these things. But yes, so thank you, Fubar. Mexican Spec put up the link to Dr. Art's channel, who needs all the subs he can get because his
all
channel
of them
is nuked. So he needs all the subs and all the clicks and all the watch time. So go over there and check that out. He also does a live every Monday night.
And then I'm 3/4 the way to subs and about 60% the way to watch hours. So it's going on pretty quick, actually. So.
Okay. Nathan Berger. I know you hate live builds, but man, it's good TV. Brother pour gas on a carb yelling, take that. So we've done. So listen, we've done live engine builds. You can go to our playlist, okay, of lives, and we've done several live engine builds. We did one on a Hemi GTX. All sorts of stuff on it. Doing a live build is different than doing a video, okay, or live by myself, because when you're doing a live build, there are other people around, and it's conversation is easy. It's just more natural, okay. But when it's just me alone with the freaking camera, I get all uptight with it. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm not comfortable with the camera. I don't think it's something I'll ever get used to.
Yeah, because like when we tore down the 3D3, we had 4 people there, and it went.
Yeah,
it
went fast. Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that, Doctor. Yeah, we did. We tore down a 3D. I have no problem working live like that. We get a few people together and we're all doing our thing, and we talk back and forth, and it's cool. It's fun. But just when it's me and the camera, I'm like, yeah, just bad. Jimmy Lewis is saying, don't you still owe Jamie a time slip, or has that race been resolved? I punked out. I conceded to him. I conceded. Chopper Timberland, what happens when you drain the oil and it comes out like refried beans?
Too many tacos.
Don't eat them.
Yeah.
Don't eat them. I mean, yeah, I don't know what happens when you drain the oil and it comes out like refried beans. I've actually seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah, Drag Boss Garage, yes. Also, he got nuked.
Yeah, Tim, he got nuked just like I did. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure he can use whatever help he can get. Eric Wilson enjoyed that video. Well, I'm glad you guys got a kick out of it.
Mhm.
I came this close to not posting it. I was like, but nobody wants to see this.
Apparently, people did. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, refried beans is different than a milkshake. The refried beans, I know what he's talking about, and it's a combination of so the refried beans that's an old engine, okay, and it's a combination of oil sludge, condensation rust, and the from cast rings, that residue, that pasty gray residue that you get from a high mileage cast ring engine, all
Yeah.
mixed together, and it looks like refried beans.
Yeah, it comes out in chunks. You got to poke at it.
Yep.
Yeah. Never goes away.
People love to watch me fail. They do, and I have no problem failing. It's Dr. Art. I'm not sure I'll fail.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You know what I learned in my 63 years on this freaking planet? You never learn anything unless you fail at it first. So you have to you literally have to embrace failure. If you can't embrace failure, if your ego is too thick, you know what I mean? If your ego is too fragile to allow yourself the luxury of failure, you will never learn anything. So I've come, I guess, to the point that it's just like, yes, fail. Awesome. What did I learn? Okay, don't do it this way.
Don't do that. Yeah. Get mad, say some bad words, get over it, and move on.
Yep. And why do I even do that? No, things don't even get me upset anymore. I'm when I'm working on shit, I'm just zen. I'm just zen.
Yeah, I was upset and screaming at people early this morning, so that's why I would escape for a couple of hours.
Yes, I was surprised. I got to the shop this afternoon, and the wheels are on it, the rear end's in it, no oil, a big sun, no oil in the diff. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it was therapeutic. It was good.
Well, did you use black silicone on there?
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff owes you a tube. It was hanging on the wall.
That's okay. Dan just turned 63 and totally agrees with me. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Failure is part of learning. Embrace it. Hemi had 2 miles out in the middle of a junkyard making mistakes. Yeah, that's we learn when we're teenagers, you know, and when you first start doing this shit.
Yeah. I think the biggest lesson that I learned when I was very young, it's swapping transmissions in my Galaxy because I blew it up doing too many burnouts, is when you have to split the lines and you have to put a piece of hose in there, you know, to make the fluid go, don't use vacuum lines. Use like a few, because vacuum lines will work for a while till you get about halfway home and then, oh, well, that was dumb. Okay.
So what I've always done when I had to do that, because I learned very similar lessons, is when there are these occasions where you can't separate the line like a human and you have to actually cut it.
Yeah. What
I've done is take like a needle nose plier or just anything that I can, whatever's handy at the time, and you know the tubing is round, and so I'll grab part of the tubing and give it like a bend.
Mm-hmm.
So this way, when you put the hose clamp on it, the hose clamp has something to fight against.
To grab.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be anything big, just a little nudge, and
just enough.
A good video, you know that? That's the topic for a good video because everybody does stuff like that, and it's like those little tricks would make a good video.
How to make a nudge.
How to make a nudge.
Title of the video. That's a good video.
Fun with cars. What color ATV do you prefer? I prefer gray. That's the sensor safe stuff. I'm a black guy all the way.
Yeah, it depends what you're sealing up. I like gray on water and black on oil.
Yeah. I use black on everything. The gray is supposed to be sensor safe. Is that right?
I don't get that fancy. Gray water, black oil.
I get a kick out of the people who use red. You ever notice that people who use so red is supposed to be for heat. Anything that's exposed to heat.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that people who use red use excessive, crazy amounts of it?
It's like they got a tube of red for Christmas.
Okay, has anybody else noticed this?
And it's always the cars you get, and you're like, what the hell went on here?
I had
the wires, it's on the wipers, it's on the tires, it's everywhere.
I had one recently, not too long ago, that I took the valve cover off, and the push rods were encased in that silicone, in the red silicone, like it had formed around. Like they took a tube of silicone and just squished it all the way over the valve cover, smashed the valve cover down on it,
and just sent it
and molded around the push rods.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all the silicones that I have found, like my absolute favorite, okay, is the cheap stuff they sell at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, I won't use. I'm real picky about that.
Well, you took that one off my wall today, right?
Yeah,
that's the Harbor Freight stuff.
I had a good talk with it before I used it. It'll be fine, and it's on a rear end, and it's 2 flat seals, and everything was super clean, so it'll be okay.
I use it on everything. I've never had a failure with it, and it has just the right consistency.
Mm-hmm. And talking about that, if you get, I remember this today, working with RTV, you get it all over your hands and fingers and stuff like that. What you do is you reach for your WD-40 and your hands before, and it'll just wipe right off. But if you get it on your hands, it starts to stick. Just WD-40 and it'll come right off. So you don't walk around with black little fingers and getting it everywhere and on your soda and in the car and every place else.
I use gasoline for everything, but yeah. It's a less caustic sort of. World of Woodchip. I've seen the excessive red RTV. See, right? It's like it takes over the mind of the user. Exactly.
Well, there was a couple of people quoted here. Yeah, whenever that's the worst, the worst crap you buy off Marketplace because it doesn't run right is always coated in red RTV. And the guy's usually missing about 9 or 10 of his front teeth.
Dr. Art, look at what time it is.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. We must put an end to this party. Mm-hmm. What do you need to, aside from your own channel, Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab, everybody should go over and like and sub and everything else? What do you need to talk about?
We need to talk about Christmas shopping at midnightspeedlabs.com. We need to talk about some future videos I got coming up because we're putting the Falcon, actually assembling the Falcon. I've made progress on that. And we're going to redo the suspension on the Ranger and the rear so it doesn't go hard left when you hit it. And I don't know what else we got coming up for the holidays. Maybe something special. And look for our Carnage video tomorrow night or next night.
Yeah. We're gonna make up for the crushing disappointment of the last video. So our fantastic mods, Mexican Spec, Fubar, Zero. Guys, thank you as always. Your Christmas stuff has been ordered. So all right. Okay, Daniel Solis, next Wednesday night, he'll be sitting in for Dr. Art because Dr. Art has to do very important things with very impressive people. Or very impressive things with very important people. Either way, it's what he does.
Either way, I'll not be here. So
he will not be here. So Dan will thank you, and you can go over there to his channel. And I think that's it, right? Anybody contributed with Super Chat? Thank you so much. Always appreciated. Never expected. Everybody contributed with your presence and your conversation. Thank you equally. And I'm gonna end this right now because I gotta hit the bathroom.
Okay, end it. Shut her down.
I'm gonna
Adios,
shut it down. Good night, all, and thank you. And stream.
And